Hello, and how's it going, guys? Today we are going to be talking about spirits and which ones are the best, synergies, compositions. I talk about like good beginning ones, mid game and late game. So let's get on into it. So in the beginning, some spirits that I would recommend is any of the earth spirits, really. You can't really go wrong with any of them in the beginning. I do like the Anki because he has access to getting rage on the third turn, which is pretty nice for dishing out a lot of damage. Definitely recommend Fallen Foe in your deck. So in the beginning, you pretty much just want a damage dealer with a little bit of speed, because the speed really helps get the first turn in. You're going to be dishing out more damage. Really helps. You can also go with this guy too. You can utilize his Madhouse, where he gets a tackle, gets a draw tackle, and then you can use Focus to capitalize on that tackle. So you can kind of plan your moves with this. You can buff them up with Rage too if you want. If you need energy, you could use this little guy too. His ability, when your attack is completely blocked, you get energy back, so you can purposely just have him at low power. That way he's always getting blocked and you're always getting energy back. So another cool little synergy there. Water tames, they're okay. So I guess this is kind of like where we get into mid-game a little bit, because this is when you're going to start to be able to catch some of these guys and tame them. All the water guys are pretty much for like healing and stuff, but I'd say turn them into breakers. And what that basically means is breaking armor. So what you're going to want to do is spec into speed, because speed increases the bash's basically its effectiveness. So the more speed you have, the more armor break you pretty much have with your bashes. So you can turn them into that, and you turn them basically into like a support spirit. So you can apply your regens and then your bashes, and then you let your other spirit do the damage. So that's pretty much what you can do with these guys. And then we get into the poison spirits, which are pretty nice, especially this guy, the Ribite. He's got an interesting ability to where whenever an enemy dies, you transfer the poison that has to a random enemy. So you could just focus your build on a lot of poison, applying tons of poisons at the start. And if you are going down this route of doing like a poison build, I would definitely recommend getting at least 2 spirits. So maybe 2 poison spirits, and then one of your support. You're always gonna pretty much want to support. Especially like the early and mid game support is really nice, just like a breaker and a buffer. But yeah, 2 poison, and he synergizes kind of well with Trunkle, because his ability automatically applies 3 poison to all enemies. So keep in mind that when an enemy dies, he spreads it to the next enemy, another random enemy. So he transfers all that poison. So you just want to keep stacking as much poison as possible. So it's pretty nice. It gets pretty pretty crazy, pretty fast. Then we got the fire spirits, which are pretty fantastic. They consume a little bit more spirit, but they dish out a lot more damage. Some of them are have pretty nice stuff, like Sinjin. He has the ability to like get a ramp up in energy, but he loses 3 HP, which is really not that much if you stack some vitality on him. But yeah, you can ramp up pretty good. Sheep is really good if you're fighting, especially if you're fighting fire enemies, because he applies that burn equal to his power to a random enemy. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. It gets pretty crazy really fast. Another good one, I believe, is Lucerna. Yeah, if you're just farming and you want to conserve on like healing plants and stuff like that, this guy's pretty good too, because you recover some of that lost HP. So yeah, for fire moves that are pretty good, let me go into my medallion real quick, because my main sheep has some pretty good cards. Explosion, it's optional kind of thing. Fire breath is one of my favorites, because attacks 5 times, does pretty decent damage. Pretty much any of the fire moves really are really good. I'll go into super detail about it. I don't want this video to be super long. Alright, so once you have access to psychic spirits, this is when things get absolutely nutty, because all of them have access to getting a lot of spirit with their cards. I turned my psychic guys into breakers. They're like a breaker, spirit gainer kind of, and drawing cards kind of person. So that's what I have their role as. So what you have access to is this card called Enlighten, which triples your energy. So it can get nutty really quick. You can easily get up to the cap of 99 energy really quick with this. So you just triple your energy, and triples that energy, and it gets really crazy. So you just want to keep getting as much of these as possible, and you can keep drawing cards, which also costs 0 energy, so it's also really nice. So you're drawing more cards, you're getting more energy, drawing more cards, getting more energy. Like, it gets absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then I turned this guy into a breaker, so he's got higher amount of armor break. So endgame, definitely recommend getting a psychic spirit, because yeah, it's pretty much best in slot kind of spirit. Yeah, definitely recommend those. For the electric types, these guys are good as another support, because they have access to these charge cards, which increases your damage even more. So you can kind of combo this charge with the rage from the earth spirits, and you can get some pretty nice damage going. So for endgame setup, my combination that I like to have is your psychic with a setup as a breaker, along with drawing lots of cards and spirit. Then I like to run 2 elemental DPS. So in my case, I like to run earth, because a lot of things are weak to earth, especially like the higher end level spirits. And then I like to run fire, just because of their burst damage. But yeah, and then we get into the dark spirits. These guys, they're good, but you gotta start them from an egg and then slowly raise them up to be good. Because one of their cards is let me go into here. Nightfall's really good. You want a bunch of these. One of them does like 7 attacks or something like that. That's really good, but you gotta bump up your armor a little bit if you want to take full advantage of it. I forgot where. Oh yeah, this one right here. This one could be potentially really good. So it does 7 attacks, but it also does 7 attacks to yourself, so that's why you want to get some armor up. That way it kind of like negates it. And I believe that's pretty much it for synergies and stuff. I mean, the game's not really like that in depth. Some of these abilities could really help you out. I haven't gone over all of them, but those are just the notable ones that I wanted to point out. That way it gives you guys a rough idea of what you can do and maybe what you want to build around. But yeah, that's about it for now. You guys all have a awesome day. See ya.